Hello, this is Komilla Sutton, and we are continuing on the series about Saturn, Shani. Today, the topic is Saturn transits, Gochar, where he is in the sky just now, and how it is directly affecting your chart. So the transit of Saturn, we have all heard about Sati, which is a 7.5-year transit over the moon. I'm going to make a separate video for that, for Sati. Today I'm talking about general transit. So wherever Saturn is in the sky, he affects that area of your chart. And also remember Saturn's aspect. So Saturn will aspect the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 10th house from where he is at any given time. So firstly, when Saturn comes into a sign, he's going to stay there for 2.5 years. And in that 2.5 years, he's going to grind his way to make you change your idea about that energy. He can bring some issues forward, because remember, he's the bringer of karma, and karma that we did in the last few years, or karma that we did in the last lifetime. So we don't know. Therefore, there is some responsibility coming your way. I'm always of the attitude that, oh, this is all I have to do, so let me do it, let me sort it out. So, a stitch in time saves 9. The saying is perfect for this, for Shani transit. Don't leave it for another day. So if you have some issue that you're dealing with, then don't leave it for another day. Work with it, sort it out, and that will be extremely helpful for you. So what you have to see is, so like just now, Saturn is in Sagittarius. I'm going to make an extra video for that as well. So, but just to understand the aspect. So from Sagittarius, he is aspecting the 3rd house from Sagittarius, which is Aquarius. 7th house is Leo, and 10th house is Scorpio. So these are the signs that are getting extra effect of Saturn. So wherever he's transiting, then he'll move to Capricorn or Aquarius. So every 2.5 years he's going to transit. Now Saturn is very democratic. He doesn't think you're wealthy, you get a pass, or Saturn is my best planet, he's not going to bother me. No, if you have karma to deal with, Saturn is going to affect you. If you're poor, wealthy, in between, Shani is going to have an impact on you. In the mythology, you see Shani bothering Lord Shiva, Shani bothering Hanumanji, Shani bothering all the various deities, because he travels, in his 29 years, he goes around the world, and he is making everybody deal with that situation. So whenever Saturn is coming into a sign, you have to think, what planets I have in that sign. Those are the planets that get most affected. If you have Sun placed there, then the house Sun rules, but Sun is your ego, it's also your identity, it's your health. Those things can be affected. Moon, of course, emotionally very tough when Saturn is going over the moon. Mars, frustrating because Saturn stops Mars from doing whatever he wants. There can be issues connected to siblings, because Mars represents siblings as well. Then Mercury is your thinking, analytical power. If he's going over Jupiter, he's the guru, the advisor, your husband in a woman's chart, children. If he's going over Venus is of course marriage. So when Saturn transits, so there's some challenge regarding marriage, obstacles in a man's chart. It could be with wife. If he's going over Rahu, Ketu, or going over himself. So if Saturn is going over himself, it's called a Saturn return. That only happens 3 times in a lifetime maximum, and depending on, because your first Saturn return will be about the age of 29, then 59, and then around 87, 88. So you see that it's a very rare event. So that is a time when one type of age finishes, your youthful fun age finishes at 29. You have to take responsibility. At around 59, you have to think about your health, about retirement, about the next phase of life. And at 90, in the 80s, 90s, you're thinking now, how am I going to leave this world in a good way? So you have all these plannings to do with Shani. But when he comes into the sign, he's affecting your life, and he's demanding that you deal with certain issues. Then when he goes over Rahu, then that can be tough depending on what house Rahu is, because malefic going over malefic, and same with Ketu. So you have to see what planet is in the house. Even if say there's no planet in a house, so if Saturn is going over your 7th house, then that is the house of marriage. So he can affect marriage, relationships. It's not he can even give you marriage, because if he's your Lagna Lord going in the 7th house, he can give you marriage. But even without that, he can give you marriage, because you suddenly want responsibility, more responsibility. So don't ignore his ability to give you something. But then once he gives you, then you have the responsibility, the extra responsibility of the marriage. If he's going through the 10th house, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they have Shani going through the 10th house. So their whole company is being reorganized. They are not losing their job, but everything is getting reorganized. Sometimes you yourself are reorganizing your work. So whichever place Saturn is transiting, you have to think that it is transiting, and he's wanting you to reorganize. Again, think realistically about it. Be patient about situations that are happening. Don't be in a rush to do something. Saturn is Vayu energy, and this is a very interesting aspect of Shani, is that Shani himself is slow moving and everything, but his element is Vayu, air. So what he does is he exaggerates everything. So he'll exaggerate your fear, he'll exaggerate your anxiety. So you'll feel, oh my God, everything is going crazy. So the more anxious you become, the bigger the Vayu does. Sometimes it can do in a way that you think unrealistically. You're making a lot of money and you're doing a lot, like in the housing market or the stock market, and then suddenly Shani makes it crash. So therefore one should not be investing in what you cannot afford. You should not be unrealistic. Be practical. Less is more when Saturn is doing the transit. So for you, the main transits generally in anybody's chart is on the ascendant, on the moon sign, on the sun sign, and then ascendant lord. These are the ones that are most important transits for you. But everywhere he's going, that is his role, that we have to pay back our karma, we have to work with it. And then in the transit, you're also watching the retrogrades. So and again, we will make I will be making extra videos for this. But every time Saturn goes retrograde, he's going retrograde at a degree. And if you have a planet placed at that degree where Saturn is going to stop, because he's a slow moving planet, and when he's wanting to stop, he stations there, and then he will move backward. So it stays slow for almost 2 months on that degree. So if you have a planet under that degree, either whether it's stopping to turn retrograde or stopping to go direct, then you can think that that is a crisis energy for you. So of course, if you don't know what is happening, or you don't know that, then it's a great idea to study Vedic astrology, because the best way to understand the knowledge is to study it and know your chart, because then you know you're not leading your life without awareness. And the transit and Shani's transit is much more easier to handle if you know what is happening. And but it is slow and steady and intense when he's exact. Otherwise we may not even feel it, so we don't feel the impact. So now of this series we have one more class which I'm going to talk about the what to do about Saturn, and what are the remedies, and what in my experiences are good remedies. So please do subscribe, like this video as well. Subscribe, because then you will have always know what I'm posting, and I'm planning to post at least 2 videos a week at present, because I've just restarted this. I'm posting a lot more, and also Jupiter and Scorpio was a big boost for me, so I've been lot of energy to do these, but then I'll be posting twice. So if you subscribe, you'll get that. Plus you can go on my website, see all what I do, Komilla.com, and you can also have a newsletter. There's lots of stuff for you to read there too. So all the best, and I will see you at the video number 4 for this.